share his experience with the construction, and you are welcome. Anyone can just unmute, and I will be able to talk. Dr. Ayman, تفضلي.
Hello, can I ask a question?
Assalamu
Dr.
alaikum.
Ayman.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
Shall I speak in English or Arabic or?
It's up to you.
Okay. Thank you so much for this introduction, and thank you so much for such an informative session. Just introducing myself, I have a background in architecture with a PhD in architecture and landscape, but I'm also worked as a consultant, architectural consultant, registered licensed architect outside Canada. But also I worked in the construction in project management industry, and I have been working as a construction project manager from the developer side in Canada. I have also long experience in teaching architecture, doing some part-time job with some of the colleges here. Actually, I can see the point of the COVID and the impact in supply issues, but there is something that I could not understand very well. When you're talking about inflation rate, and I think mainly has been the delay on receiving maybe the material, and the increase in the lumber prices and things like that. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the issues I noted that sometimes the contractors or the sub-trades who are working under the GC, they have like locking themselves up with a certain supplier. So like they have like, I don't know, kind of gentleman agreement maybe, or maybe like you need to get your lumber from this specific supplier for certain number of years. So they have to be bound by their challenges. And that causes delays in the project sometimes, because there is one item might delay the other. For example, if you have a problem in lumber, or we had a problem with the Siemens supplying switch gears, for example, that impacted the whole schedule of the project and caused delays and losses for me as a project manager from the developer side. So how is that ethical, or is this just like hidden code, or this is just like something in the Canadian culture, construction culture, that you need to only get maybe the lumber from a certain supplier, like the subtrade have to be abided by that? This is one. Secondly, now you mentioned that the COVID, there is slowdown in the construction industry, and all of a sudden that now there is a boom in the construction industry. And then one of the things that it's any challenge, there is some kind of opportunity in disguise. So you are mentioning that you are inviting newcomers or people who are new immigrants to involve themselves in trades maybe and things like that. But what about people who wanted, like myself, for example, I wanted to maximize my potentials for working as an employee in the construction industry as project management, because I find myself more not in the design. I don't want to sit in the office. I really find myself have more expertise in project management, whether from the developer or maybe from the developer side. So how is that? I mean, is there more opportunities to do that? Or where can I start from? Whom can I approach? I am working now with non-for-profit organization, but I wanted to also maximize my opportunities and potentials, and mainly working with the city, like working with the government. So how do you see that? Also, how can I navigate these opportunities? Thank you.
You're mute. You're mute.
I think this is my two questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you for your questions. One of them is about the gentleman agreement and the partnership between a general contractor and subcontractors. And that's basically the core of the Canadian industry. So if I'm a general contractor, been working.
No, not between the general contractor and the trades, between the trades and the suppliers. Like, for example, if you have a sub-trade and then the supplier, like you have to buy from one manufacturer.
It's normally like this. It normally exists, but what is happening now? If I have a subcontractor and this subcontractor has a deadline, and if they're gonna lose money, if they're gonna miss this deadline, they have to change the subcontractor. They want, or the supplier, they cannot continue with someone does not have. But the issue here is a common case. So this is not just for the supplier. For lumber supply, maybe it's just a whole of Quebec. It's a province. It's a province-wide issue. It's not a supplier issue. So for example, I had some projects that we were importing maybe 1,000 doors from Quebec, and delivery time was normally in normal cases 8 weeks, and it gone up to 20 weeks, and we didn't get our supply. And this was not the case for us only as a 1GC, but this was a general case in the industry. So about the gentleman agreement, it's very nice, very good, but they will not going to continue in this agreement if they're going to get a financial hit. Okay, so this one for the gentleman agreement or the partnership between a supplier and a subcontractor. It's same for general contractor and subcontractor. This partnership. On the other hand, asking about what is happening now in the construction industry. Yes, it's booming. Yes, they are looking for qualified construction management professional. I know there is shortage, 100% there's shortage. There is a lot of projects. What I see on many companies, a lot of movements between companies. So a lot of people are leaving their companies for better opportunities, and a lot of people are coming in to replace them. So there are a huge demand right now on the construction industry professionals and qualified project managers. So I see this mainly in the GT area. I'm not sure about London. I am been away from London market. I'm not sure. Are you talking from London, Dr. Amina, or outside?
I'm from Mississauga, actually.
Mississauga, so excellent. So in Mississauga,
yeah, and I was much in, the company I'm working with now is in Hamilton based, but it's partially online and partially is from office, but I'm really much interested in working with for the Peel region or Mississauga city. Yeah, especially.
okay, so that's two things. Whenever we're talking about a city that's a government and it's limited, and they're not looking for professionals every day. Okay, if you're looking at subcontractors or contractors, GCs, that's a different story. So I don't see, and maybe Dr. Ismail can correct me here because he has his experience with municipalities. Dr. Ismail, you are muted, sir.
Oh, thanks, Dr. Ayman, and thanks also to Dr. Iman for the question. I guess there is a really big differences between how you looks like. I see your wishes to work in a governmental while you want to be project manager. So as you can imagine, if we are talking about municipalities, the best way is please keep eye on the website. Keep eye on the website of each municipalities. Now, what we can do for you ourselves here as the association, as members, or even myself in person, we can talk about, for example, how is your submission? What is your cover letter should looks like? How is the resume? Maybe should be justified, just or tweaked just to adjust for the purpose of the project. Plus, we can be a reference as well for yourself, at least in person. So, I mean, there's always a lot of hands that we can help and do. We have also some members of our association. They are working in those municipalities, by the way. So we have members of our association working in Beale region. We have some members working in Oakville and some other GTA areas. So that's the help we can do. But the best way to work for a municipality, as I keep saying to everyone I meet with or I met with in the past, we never create position for someone. Positions are there when it's needed. So make sure uh, 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 pay attention to the website of whatever municipality of your choice and keep on looking for their careers section. And whenever you find a position that fits your experience, please do encourage and apply. I can tell you that there is a high demand. And I can give you example. 3 weeks ago, we hired, and normally for a City of London application, normally we get like, and then in the normal times before 2020, we normally get like 40 resumes or applicants. Nowadays, we were so lucky or feel so lucky when we get 14. So that's how the demand is really high all over. So that's my best advice. I don't want to take long time of your the presentation today and the others, but I encourage everyone, if you have a question, please come forward and raise it to either to Dr. Ayman or even myself. I can answer if there's something related to my area, but that's my advice for you, Dr. Iman, if you want to do something like.
Thank you so much. Actually, I couldn't hope for more. This is excellent. I have been doing that. I am going to reach out to you and thank you for the association. I don't know, maybe my follow question will be how to register, how to become a member with the association, and then maybe to have contacts and things like that, and maybe give a brief introduction about myself so that when somebody is recommending me or
Absolutely.
reference letter, he does it with, like knowing me. At least you can't give a reference to somebody whom you don't know. So I'd really love to take part and be more active in this association. Just guide me, and thank you so much. This is more than what I had hoped for.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Iman, for the follow-up question. This is also, again, a great question. The association is here for all Arab engineers, wherever they are and whenever they are. So there is no really limitation for any Arab engineer. And again, we never ask for credential. So we don't ask, for example, give me your certification or whatever. You are Arab engineer and you show interest to become a member. That's all we need for now. In the past, we had a kind of a form that you have to fill, and we normally present it to the board, because like every while the board get together and then they look for the submissions. Nowadays we make it much easier. It becomes like send your contact information, whatever. I can add you to our both location. We have a group in Telegram and another group in WhatsApp. So this way you will be joining like altogether about 300 members for now. I wish to see it really growing, and we want to see you and others in that area encouraging others to join the association. And in this situation, you will become a member and you can present yourself. Of course, I can tell you statistics we have tells us like between 70 and 80% of our members are really active working members, and they are really in the job market, and many of them, they might have the right opportunity for you when you present yourself and explain about yourself. So you will have all the freedom to do that. So please send me your contact information, full name. Make sure that you have a Telegram in your phone as software, and WhatsApp. So this way you can be in the two groups. The WhatsApp group is more like for social and normal communication, but the Telegram is a more professional one. And that one is, we have there about 150 members now, but the people's, they are very, very committed to the goals of the association, no other than professional posts, nothing out of the norm, and that's what I would advise you to do, Dr. Ayman.
I will do that. I'll certainly do that. Thank you so much. And just FYI, we also have a similar organization for Sudanese engineers, technicians, and technologists. And we are also having a group, and maybe this can be an opportunity. We are more than 400 actually members. And that can be an opportunity for collaboration also between the two organizations, or maybe recruiting them also to your association, so that whatever is going to make it a win-win case. Thank you so much. At the personal level, I will definitely give you my contacts. I don't know, shall I send it in here, or?
You can send it through the engineer Ala, and then he can forward it to me. If you are, I don't know if you currently joined any of the two groups. If not, just send your phone number and confirm that you have a Telegram on your phone. So this way I can add you and you become one of us in this situation. Now, talking about other groups, as you can understand, our association is mainly for Arab Canadian engineers. So we are not considering adding technicians or technologists. Of course, there are some technicians and technologists. Among them, few of my staff are originally engineers. They are, of course, eligible and they can join us. But yeah, we are strictly for Arab Canadian engineers. And by the way, we have members all over Canada. We have members in the Atlantic. We have some members also in West Canada.
Okay, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Okay, we have Engineer Muhammad Shalbea. You can unmute yourself.
That's one of our Atlantic guys.
Assalamu alaikum jami'an. Thank you so much, Dr. Ismail and Dr. Ayman and Brother Ala for working hard to make this is happening. Actually, I came to the presentation here with two questions in mind. And mashallah, Dr. Ayman answered both questions during his presentation. So I will ended up with a quick comment on Ayman. Dr. Ayman question is about the relationship between subcontractors and trades, or maybe the main contractor and sub-trades.
Suppliers.
And the suppliers. There is a new relationship or terms that I have learned here in Canada, which is the alliance partners, which means that especially works for the basically the utility companies, where they do have a kind of partnering relationship more than subcontracting relationship with a certain company, and those companies they are building their procedures, their policies based on a certain work procedure and the use of a certain fittings, pipes, equipment, materials. So it comes like an overall triangle where the owner or the main contractor with the alliance partner, or you can call it subcontractor, and the material supplier, they come together and build their own business on a way that they are working together. So maybe this is some of the things that you may come across. So this is something, it wasn't new to me, but I can find it working very well. That was my point. Thank you.
Thank you, Engineer Mohammed.
Thank you, Engineer Mohammed.
Thank you so much for this contribution. Although I didn't understand it very well how it works, but I don't want to take much of the time. I don't want to seem like I'm taking the time of the presentation only to my questions. But thank you for your input anyway.
Join the website, join the group, and you can communicate and you can raise questions as you wish. And someone with experience always will be able and will be there to answer.
Yeah, I just send my details to Engineer Ala right now.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Already, and confirming that I have a Telegram and everything. My email and my phone number.
Thank you.
So, can I ask a question?
For sure.
Yeah, my name is Yaqub. I'm a civil engineer working with a consulting company, and I'm very much thankful for your presentation, and also thankful to I'm also apologize if I'm not using the titles. So I'm also very much thankful to Ismail. He was very kind during my getting the engineering license and helping so many things in this connection. And my question is a little bit personal, but it is really related to the topic of inflation. Most of the people, they may have a house or they are paying the mortgage. And so there is what is going on regarding the increasing the interest rate by central bank. It is affecting the house owners. So, for example, I was going to renew my mortgage, for example, on February 2022. So there was a advice that, okay, you go ahead with the variable rate rather than the fixed rate. So before I was using the fixed rate, so I decided to go to the variable rate. At that time, the renewal due date was maybe 6 months before, and I was told that you cannot do renew variable rate, so you have to wait. Then I went to a traveling and came back on April 2022. The situation changed, and on February I could do fixed rate of 2.7 and variable rate of 2.1, for example. And April it came to around 4%. Then I just renewed my mortgage by variable in 4%. Then they fixed it to a rate bi-weekly, whatever, and then suddenly within less than 2 months it increased 7%, and within 2 weeks it increased to 12%. My question is that what is the trend? Do you recommend to go ahead and do fixing or keep it to be as a variable rate?
So if it's a question for me, I'm not in a position to give a financial advice, but I can just talk about my experience in this situation.
Yeah.
And a couple of emails that I received from my mortgage specialist. Because of this inflation and what is happening right now, the ongoing advice is, and again, I repeat, I'm not a financial advisor, I cannot give you an advice, but that's what I heard, that if you are in a variable, there is no other option for you, just keep it, because this high interest rate will not going to be here for the next 5 years. So potentially in a year or two, going to start to see a decrease. So
Right.
they are in a kind, we're not in the peak yet. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you can take another hit with the variable, so potentially in 12 months, 24 months, it's going to start to decline again. But if you fix it here at this point,
Yeah.
and it goes up and goes down, you'll be fixed on a higher rate. So the common between all of my friends in such a situation, no change, don't take actions, just keep whatever you are. And again, that's my personal situation.
Yeah, there was different advices that I was thinking that maybe you can comment on this. Even also, banks are thinking about their own interest, because they are getting this more benefit from this increase in the rates compared to other public.
Yes, but just for us, you mentioned 7 and 12%. 12% increase between months to months.
Yeah.
Not interest rate 7 and 12%, because that's nothing I had heard of.
Yeah, it is compared to what I was saying.
Okay.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Also, I wanted to mention that I like to learn Arabic, but I'm not fluent in speaking Arabic. Okay.
You are most welcome anytime. I think there are a lot of resources available here in Canada, Yaqub, if you want to get the Arabic language. So try that.
Yeah, I can read easily Quran, but I have to find somebody to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think Dr. Ayman gave you the right advice for the current situation that you are in. But if I was you at the time, I would get it fixed at the time. It was all the signs was clearly stating that the interest rate is going up. So, and again, there is this kind of tradition in the bank that you can even renew 4 months earlier, like they call it the 120 days earlier. Yeah. So that's all available. If I was you, I would really fix it at that time. And then you enjoy the next at least period, whereas all this kind of waving ups and down. But unfortunately, you haven't. So I think the right advice from Dr. Ayman, yeah, keep the variable for now. It's going to be ups and downs for a little bit, but it will certainly go down later on.
Thank you, Ismail.
Absolutely.
Engineer Saeed Omar, would you like to unmute yourself?
Hi, assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Ala and Dr. Ismail and Ala, for this wonderful meeting. But I just wanted to ask, for someone who's like wishing to enter into the construction industry in Canada as of like early next year, what are the areas that you would advise to pursue, given the outlook you've highlighted in this presentation? Like I'm talking, would it be more towards like construction management, or perhaps a more specialized aspect like structural engineering or that of sort? That makes any sense? Thank you. That's what I wanted to understand better.
Okay, so if I understood the question right, you are planning to enter the construction industry next year. So first, I would like to make a clear clarification between engineering and construction industry. That's two separate professionals here in Canada. So construction, project management does not need any qualifications. If you need to pursue your engineering, you can work under a professional engineer, or you can get the help of the organization to help you to get your professional engineer designation. So that's two completely separate, and based on your experience with for the past and whatever is you feel yourself in, both options are available. Construction is a wide industry. You can find always a spot for yourself. Engineering, you're gonna need to at least have a previous experience with engineering for sure.
I apologize, I did not give you just a bit of background to put into context. I currently work as a project engineer, and I have my background is actually a bachelor's in engineering in civil and structural engineering from Leeds University in the UK. Okay. So I currently do work as a project engineer, but then I'm thinking of the relocation, and I'm trying to think ahead. I already applied for the PEO application to pursue at least the professional engineer status, and I understand the requirements and so forth. But then, as you know, they have also this 12-month period of Canadian experience that's mandatory. So basically, I'm trying to, let's say, filter like good areas, knowing the outlook, like the prospects you've highlighted. I just want to try to think through ahead to understand what could be a better position to be in.
Okay, so to start, I have a question for you. Oh, sorry, Doctor. Sorry, go ahead, Dr. Ismail.
Yeah, no, thanks, Dr. Ayman. Yeah, I want just to ask, as you are now working as a project manager or project engineer, that's for sure counts towards your 1 year experience. We're still hoping in the next couple of months or so, this requirement for 1 year Canadian experience will be removed. But in any way, I want to remind you that many of us, if you want examples in the association members, many of us actually, we start working without the Canadian 1 year experience. So we did work, and I can steer to Dr. Ayman himself, myself, and many others. We did work without this kind of, so don't please put barriers to yourself. I don't see this as a barrier by all means. Companies, when they are in desperate need, like nowadays for professional and for qualified peoples, they will be always willing to give it a try. So I very much encourage you to just apply. But I think we are not doing enough with applying. In my view, I call it, normally I meet new engineers every other day or every other week. I encourage everyone, please knock the doors. As I said, when I was asked, for example, about municipalities, in municipalities, we cannot, for example, take someone, walk in, and then, yeah, please, here, we can take you. But municipalities and governmental job is always posts, and you watch the post, apply for whatever, match your credential and experience, and that's will be processed as others. Nowadays, we get less applicant than in the past. So this is good sign. But if you want to work with companies and the private sector, they are the ones. Sometimes they can take walk-in. So please go ahead. You said you are moving. So as you are moving to a different location, check who are there, which companies are active in this area, and knock their doors. Go see them, let them know what you are doing now and how you can fit for whatever they have open positions. And that will be my advice to you and the others as well.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ismail.
Just one question, because you mentioned that you are a project engineer. So just I need some clarification, because I believe there is sometimes misunderstanding what is the role of a project engineer here in Canada. So if you are working on the construction industry, project engineer has no design, has no requirement for engineering. Okay, if you are working for a design firm, that's completely different. Okay.
I work for the UN World Food Program here in Sudan, and my work is basically very in very, let's say, different context than the one in Canada. I was actually in Canada from June to just 3 weeks ago. So I've been trying to understand better the industry, and I did apply heavily whilst being in Canada, and also like now since I came back to Sudan just 3 weeks ago. The thing is, like, given all these applications, like I only landed, let's say, a couple of walking interviews. So that's why I've been very specific to understand like what sort of, and I'm actually thinking of starting, let's say, a master's in January. So I'm trying to also consider like your insight towards the prospects and all that. I hope this clarifies to you.
Yeah, still my question is construction or engineering? That's completely different. So a project engineer work on a construction, engineer work on a design. So what's your target? It's engineer.
Engineer, yes. Engineering.
So you are a civil, you want to design structures or design storm lines, whatever, civil systems. That's what you're looking for, design.
Yes, that's correct.
So yeah, so it would be 100% Dr. Ismail answer. That's what fits you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Dr.
This we call it services, what you are doing, and that's actually the area that I am managing in the City of London. So development services. So that's what we are doing, all kind of services. And we have actually one of our members who's a Sudanese actually, and he started with us, the city, in the temporary base. Now he is permanent.
Yes, I know. I'm actually Sudanese too, so I did catch up with that individual. But thank you very much for the insight, Dr. Ismail.
Absolutely.
And if it's okay, I would like to reach out to you also on a bilateral.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Engineer Ismail, would you be kind enough to post your phone number and what time of the day is convenient to you to call you?
Sure. Phone number is 519-619-10.
Just a second.
Okay. No, it's easy. Easy one. 519-619-1020. 1020.
And which time of the day?
The best time of always is any time after, because I'm working, as you can imagine. Now, sometimes it might work for me during the day that I had no meetings or something, but normally I prefer always any time after 6 p.m. would be better for sure.
Okay, thank you so much. Just wanted to add something about the experience, the 1 year experience. I'm not sure about it, don't quote me on that, but I think lately the Canadian government, there is some kind, I think, of the Minister of Labor have declared this request to be to take it away, actually.
To eliminate.
Yes, and
yeah,
I think also becomes like a kind of favorism, or
yeah.
So it becomes sometimes you can even take the company who put it as a condition to legal issues, because that is not acceptable. It's become illegal to ask about it. I don't know to what extent that has been formalized.
Correct. Actually, our association, ACEA, Arab Canadian Engineers Association, were very strong voice against this requirement.
Good for you.
And I had a strong communication with the PO and the government. I'm dealing also with the Ontario Office of Fairness, they call it. The Office of Fairness is the guy or the group that looking after the institutions, the associations, how to work according to the government wishes. Now, the requirement for the 1 year is becoming accepted for the, I think, first reading. Normally, they go 3 readings in the Constitution. So there is expectation that this year maybe everything will be removed. So yeah, there is action by the government to remove this requirement.
Great, thank you for the lobbying. And I think this is one of the thing that when we have associations, member commitment, we can be a pressure group to change the laws to our advantage.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's how we see our role. Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
I didn't see any more hand raising, so anyone would like to speak now? Any more questions? Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Ayman, for your presentation and answering our questions here. Thank you, Dr. Ismail, for elaborating more about the effort that you're doing in the society here. And
Can I?
hopefully, yeah.
I remembered one question.
Sure.
That used to puzzle me in on my work. Like when you are having, I think that the type of contract you are having with a contractor, whether it's you know, the different titles, BBCT2 and 5B and all, DDC D2 and all those kind of things, that fixed term material and the other one. Sometimes also I was wondering, like, how can you hold the contractor accountable to finishing the project in a certain period of time with the same prices or budget, because we always have a challenge, like subtrade come and say that, okay, there is increase during COVID and because of supply issues, so the price is increased by whatever. To my understanding, in my previous experience, the moment that the GC have landed the contract and he already have the contract with his subtrades, then that should be committing to the subtrade to provide whatever material with the prices in the timing that is scheduled in the contract. But when they come and tell you that there was no material, and by the time we ordered it, the prices have gone 20%, and they take it to the developer or to the owner. So, which sometimes is unfair to the owner, especially if I'm saving of a project management, safeguard the interest of the owner. So how can you resolve that without going to allegation and, you know, take it to court and blah, blah, blah? So
yeah, that's a very interesting question, because that's the question of this time, of this period, because we are seeing this happening every day. So there are many ways. First, with the Canadian contract document committee, or CCDCs 2 or B or 5B or whatever, there are the typical conditions, and which are at the end, you can add your supplementary condition at the end of the contract. So supplementary condition is that you can alter or change whatever on these documents. So these documents are not solid stones. You can change them by adding supplementary conditions. Okay. And if you need more information on supplementary conditions, you can contact me after. But again, there are many ways for you as a developer. You can reach out to your subcontractor saying, hey, prices are not going to change. You need to hold your prices as of now. We will pay you a deposit. So you can pay a deposit ahead of time. Okay. But against this deposit, you should get a bill of sale for whatever material. You can say, hey, I will provide, or I'm able, or I will pay for storage fees. Okay, so once you got the material, there is no reason for increases. Okay, and you can just put it clear in your contract, no increases. But at the same time, no increases for a subcontractor going to reflect on their risk. So the higher risks they will have, the higher prices you will get.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of this equation. You need to manage it as a project manager in different ways in order to reach your goals.
So is it my role as a project manager, or if I have like a consultant who is also working like a contract administrator, isn't it his or her role to do that?
Who's writing the contract to the subcontractor? Who's signing? Who has the signing authority for the subcontract?
The contract is between the owner and the contractor, but I'm also paying the principal consultant to not only do, you know, like the consultancy part of it, but also contract administration. So I think it is their role, you can correct me if I'm wrong, a responsibility to advise me as the owner what is the best interest, because I am the one paying him or her.
I got you.
Because I might not be very conversant with the contract details or whatever, or loops and gaps, but I need somebody who is specialized in this, since I'm paying money.
Yes,
For the
I got it.
technique.
But that's it's always depends on when you are signing a contract with your consulting team or for contract administration. That's maybe 10 pages, and there is a lot of check marks. You have to review them. Have they are responsible? Are they responsible? Normally, typically, the owner is responsible because you are making a direct contact between you and subcontractor. Okay, there are a kind of payment certifier or whatever. Okay, but
Yes,
if you use
yes.
the technical aspect of it, reviewing, acceptance letter, whatever. But for contract, normally in 99% cases, the responsibility of the owner or the general contractor, depending on what type of contract you have.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thank you. As I mentioned, this is our second webinar now in the ACEA. And anyone who would like to share his knowledge and to present in the next webinar, he is welcome. He can send a message to me and with the title of the webinar. And I put my phone number here in the chat. You will find it there. And looking to see you soon in the next webinar, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
Allah. Thank you.